Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Hey guys, the Chicken is here. We are back today with another Boom Beach video. In today's video, guys, we're going to be going over your primer, your starting season guide for season 49. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel if you don't want to miss out on sneak peeks and everything coming up that is going to be warships over the next few days. So, this video is more so for newer people that don't really know how to play warships, or maybe you didn't do well last season and you're not really sure why. So, we're going to talk about basic to advanced kind of warship strategies that can let us get off to the right foot and allow us to just, have that position or have that chance to have a great season. So we're going to take on some, what do we want to do? We got gear hearts, so let's get into that. So the first thing, the most important thing with warships, guys, is making sure you have some sort of a plan. Now, over the last few seasons, I feel like I've gotten better at this in terms of not necessarily going crazy right out of the gates. I think the best way to play warships is to let other people go first. Let other people make mistakes. Let other people determine what the meta is. Because, there's always a benefit to being one of the first people to discover something good. But, I mean, realistically, how often does that happen? It's not as often as we would like anyways, right? So I think a better way to do it is just kind of sit back, collect your chest, and make sure that you're following the right path, whatever it turns out to be, or you're not deviating from it at least too much. So I think that's important. I keep forgetting we have the 3 times now. Let's go here. We're just gonna fizzle out fast. But it's still kind of fun. Oh, look at this. They're still going on the bottom. Yeah, so, I don't know. It's, you got to have that fine balance of playing early and not taking the wrong path. So there's a few ways you can go about doing that. I mean, there's stuff typically every season that's always good, right? This Bobbit here is still, he might actually be out of range. Although we're going to get timed out now. Nope. He hit something. Yeah, so you got to look at stuff that's always good. What are some things that are always good? Landing crafts, always good. Typically maxing out heavies, depending on what troops we have available, always good. Getting to flare right away, usually always good. Actually, I'm giving really bad examples. Landing crafts, always good. Couple defenses right off the bat if you're not rushing forward, pretty much guaranteed, always good. So little things like that, that allow you to go in, get your chest, and then, kind of sit back and wait. I mean, you don't want to wait too much. There's always an advantage to playing early. That's something that we talk about a lot. And apparently, I don't know if you guys experienced this last season. I heard some rumors. I don't know if this is confirmed or not, but some people said that the earlier they unlock the first chest, the earlier they unlock their chest for the rest of the season. I don't know if that's actually true or if it's a bug or anything, but it's a good idea just in case to just get in there early, get that first chest. Typically, I try to do it within 2 hours of the season starting to just get online and start the timers and everything like that. Now that we start with 6 chests, that's changed a lot. It's not as beneficial to get a big rush, get a big huge head start right at the beginning. It doesn't matter as much because people for the most part end up with equal tech. But yeah, so having a plan based on what you've seen and then just allowing the meta to develop, allowing other people to discover what's really good and what you need to get, and then being able to go forward from there. So a good way to do it is just stay subscribed on YouTube, or if you like Telegram, Discord, Reddit, whatever, stay plugged in the community somewhere where people have a good idea of what the best way to go is, or watch replays, watch the global leaderboards, that kind of thing. So so yeah, typically in the past we've talked about base riding versus tech riding, but I think, it's not about either of those things. I think it's about just the optimal pathing to take. And that might be base riding, it might be tech riding. It just depends on the season, what we've got available to us, right? So, let's flare these doodlers over here. And there we go, guys, there we go. Boom. War Factory goes down. Back. So aside from that, what else do we have to play into effect? So, say you've started your season, you think you're on the right path. Maybe you do have all the right tech, and just for some reason, it's not working. So this is typically due to a few things. Number one, now that we have 6 chests, we're going to face more people that have the exact same tech as us, right? So because of that, when you are at even tech or you don't have a tech advantage, what separates you from the pack, right? How do you get out of that? Because I fall into the wave, I like to call it sometimes too, where everybody's got the same thing, all the bases are strong, and it seems like nothing's working. How do you get out of that scenario? You get out of that scenario by, number one, perfecting your attacks, and number two, having a really strong base. So if your base, especially early on, if you're losing, it's usually a good idea to change the base until you can find something that's, either working on its own, or it's just a little bit different, or it's just got, a little bit of flair to it that just makes it a little bit harder to take down, or makes the opponent double think about what they're doing, something like that. And you can do that simply just by looking at the leaderboard. Looking at the leaderboard, and a good habit, I guess, to get into, something that I've been doing the last few seasons especially, is whenever I go up against a base, I'm like, man, that one was brutal, or that was really hard, or I don't know why I fizzled so hard on that one. That's a good one to copy. So you can do a lot of this just on your own, just straight from watching replays. And vice versa. If you can't beat a certain base, the best way to work on your attack or to figure out the attack is to build that base or something similar and see how other people take it down against you. So yeah, there's that. And just, honing in the attack, perfecting the attack, that just comes down to a little bit of practice. Typically, you have all the tech in the world. You get the new troop, the next new thing or whatever, and it doesn't work right away. Just because you haven't, kind of grinded it a little bit to get that attack, kind of drove into you. I'm not really using good English today, but that's okay. So little things like that make a big difference. It's, general tips, but if you're wondering why you're not placing high enough, it's because of one of those things. You're never going to be perfect at all of that stuff and still be losing. Sometimes you will. Sometimes you can lose because of luck. We can talk about how the luck actually factors into warships maybe in another video, but, there's matchmaking, there's, different attack strategies are definitely more kind of luck dependent than others, absolutely. But I mean, if you're controlling all the factors that you can control, and you're doing your best and you just keep doing that and you don't give up because you get frustrated, something I struggle with all the time, you're gonna win more than you lose at some point, right? So that's what it all really comes down to is just finding out whatever's kind of optimal, and just keep going. If you're losing, just wait till you can really perfect the attack. And sometimes it's not it. Sometimes you got to you do need that next tech. So you got to be wary of that as well. Like when at what point is it me versus I just have the wrong tech nodes right now, which can definitely play a part in things. So just staying tuned into what you need to do. Like typically, I let you guys know whenever there's a push point or there's something worth getting, or there's something not worth getting, that kind of thing. But yeah. So I don't know. I think overall, multi-nodes are usually a bad idea as well. Multi-nodes are for, if you're going down that path anyways, or if you need, extra defenses for whatever reason. They're not typically something that you want to get right out of the gates just because it's there. Things like that I find is where, newer players make the mistake of, just thinking everything is kind of good when it's not. So, yeah. So anyways, that is the tips and tricks to get you guys started off for Season 49. That's what I learned, mostly coming out of last season anyways. So, you guys let me know down below in the comments what some of your favorite tips and tricks are for starting the season. And yeah, I hope you guys are excited. It's gonna be an interesting one, and we'll catch you in the next one, guys. Check it out. Back.